Good afternoon, it's Chef Jackson Lamb down here at Metropolitan State University in Denver, Colorado. Hey, we're talking ProStart, and I'm working my way through the Level 1 ProStart textbook. So today this brings me to Chapter 13, Level 1, Kitchen Basics. Kitchen basics? You know how many basics there are? There are so many basics that it's not even basic anymore. But I'm here to share with you just a couple of things that help us stay organized in the kitchen. So as you go through the textbook, you'll find these things to be in there. Number one, let's talk about the workstations in any given kitchen. I'm here in my kitchen here, and as we look down here, I've got the warewashing station over here, I've got my hotline over here, and I've got my ovens on the back side. But when we look at the organization of a kitchen, we typically have different workstations, and those workstations could be the hot food station, the cold food station. Think about that. We're not cooking prime rib where we're making Caesar salad. Two separate stations altogether. You know, a kitchen in a commercial environment is not like your kitchen at home where everything's in the same station. Other stations that we see in hotels or in larger convention centers perhaps, the garde-manger station. That's always a funny word, garde-manger, what does it mean? It really is, it's the kitchen of cold food. In the garde-manger kitchen, this is typically where we make, we'll make dressings, we'll make sandwiches, we'll do cold applications in garde-manger. There's a banquet department typically in a hotel or in a convention center where we're putting out not dinner for 2 or dinner for 4, but a banquet for 300, a banquet for 500. And also out there we have a short order line, short order cooks. That's in and out very quickly. There's a concept that you'll learn out there. It's called the Brigade System, and that was invented by Auguste Escoffier. Escoffier was consigned or conscripted into the French army around 1860, 1870. He didn't like it very much. But when he came out of the army, he recognized that the brigade system, the hierarchy of the generals and the colonels and the captains and the lieutenants and the sergeants and the foot soldiers, he said, wait a minute, this would work in a kitchen environment. Prior to this, the kitchen was just everybody thrown in there, everybody trying to do their job without any hierarchy. And so it was Escoffier that pulled this together, creating from top to bottom the executive chef, the sous chef, and then the various stations along the way. That would be the saute station, that would be the broiler station, line cooking along the way as well. There's also the pastry department, and most important in most kitchens is the expediter. The expediter is that person that is not on the line with the chefs, he's on the other side of that line, and he acts or she acts as a liaison in between the servers and the line cooks. So that's what the brigade system is all about. You'll read about it in chapter 13. Cruising down, the chapter talks about mise en place. There's another French term. It really means that everything has a place and everything should be in its place. So with that, mise en place includes seasonings and flavorings. Well, of course, in there we have to roll in spices and herbs, but we also have to consider things like oils and vinegars and wines and whiskeys and other liquors and beers. All of those are incorporated into seasonings and flavors. We see it all the time. As we get towards the end of the book, this chapter, it talks about various basics in the kitchen, how to cut an onion. I'm going to show you right now. So here's my mise en place right here. And first, I'm going to show you what the textbook tells you to do, okay? So starting with, I've already peeled this, so I needed to get a head start. But what the text tells you to do is cut the onion in half. Before I do that, please let's understand that when we're looking at an onion, I've got the bottom and I've got the top. Okay, let's examine that. The bottom. This is where the root is. Can you see that root? That's the one that was growing into the ground, sending roots into the ground. The other side is the top of the onion. That's where the greens come out of. So it's important we understand the top and the bottom where the root is. Because as I start to cut into this onion, I'm going from the top side. That root is going to hold the whole onion together. Follow me and let's see what we do. Okay, this is what the textbook says. The textbook says, cut this in half. Okay, I've cut it in half. Wonderful. Turn the flat side down. Okay, I'm going to turn the flat side down. I'm working so that I'm cutting towards the root. The textbook says the following. Take your knife and turn it sideways. This is very unnatural. Take your knife, turn it sideways, and make horizontal cuts. Sideways, watch your fingers. Sideways and sideways. Okay? I've made 3 cuts going this way. Now I'm going to make 3 cuts going this way. So if I go this way, here, 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 here. What I've done is I've made a bunch of cuts going this way, and I've made a bunch of cuts going this way. And now, if I take this, and depending how wide I slice this, I can get a very small dice. I can widen this up, and I can get a medium dice. Or as I get towards the end here, that root is still holding everything together. I'm going to just make this a little bit bigger, and we're just going to go with a large dice right here. I always try to find that last piece of root. Here it is right here. Let's not put that in any sauce, okay? So this is exactly how the textbook tells you to cut an onion. Let's get this straight. I'm going to come right over here. Here's my onion, all right? We want to go sideways this way. We want to go up and down this way, and then we're going to go up and down this way, all right? That's how it says in the book. However, I rarely am not using just a half an onion. I usually use the whole onion. Let me show you a way to do this. Combine 2 steps and save yourself some time. We start with the whole onion, just like last time, but I don't cut it in half. But what I'll do is, I'm going to take my knife, and I'm going to hold my knife, it's hard to see with the background here, at an angle. And so as I cut through my onion, I go all the way down. When the tip touches the cutting board, I stop. And I go all the way across. If you can see this, I've made all these cuts going this way. Now I'm going to turn the onion, and I'm going to go all the way through again. That root is holding it all together. I'm going to go all the way across like I just did. That root's holding it together. Now what I do, I cut this in half. And I have all of my cuts just as described in the textbook, but I never had to make a sideways cut. That's the benefit of what I'm doing. Once I get to this point, I'm going to cut both halves anyway, so let's see how fast we can do that. And I'm not going sideways. And there's the root. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chef Jackson Lamb. I've got a lot of tricks up my sleeve, and I'm going to be sharing those with you during this ProStart series. Hey, I'm signing off, and I'll see you for the next chapter. Thank you very much, everybody.